Welcome to Dugout Report, episode number 3. I am here with Locked On Braves, Jake Ma- Mastroianni. Mastr- Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it.
You're good. It's Jake Mastroianni.
Mastroianni. And he is here to talk about this upcoming Braves season, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say. So welcome, Jake.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
So my first question is, what are your thoughts on the opener?
On the opener for the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. Obviously, coming off a World Series championship, I can't wait to get the season started. Every opening day is very special. The beginning of a new season, a new chapter, a new journey. So I can't wait to get this going, especially after the off season we had with the lockout and everything. It just seemed like there was a lot of negativity through the off season, and now here we are, ready for a brand new season. This Atlanta Braves team seems poised to win another division and make a deep run in the postseason again. GM Alex Anthopoulos has done a great job constructing this team with a very deep lineup that should be very powerful, as well as a lot of depth in the starting rotation and bullpen as well. So, yeah, to say I'm ready is probably an understatement. I can't wait to get this opener and get this season going.
What are your thoughts on the pitching rotation? Pitching rotation.
I like the Braves pitching rotation, especially the top three, Max Fried, Charlie Morton, Ian Anderson. I mean, they were unbelievable in the postseason, and I think they'll just continue that trend. I think Max Fried and Charlie Morton will get Cy Young votes. I think they'll be that good. I think Ian Anderson even has a little bit more room to grow in his third season. So I really like the top of the rotation. The big question marks, who's going to fill out the back end of it? There's a lot of good young candidates. We're hoping this is the season that Kyle Wright breaks out, the former 5th overall pick out of Vanderbilt. You have some other names like Waskari Noah, Tucker Davidson, Kyle Muller. So, I mean, they have a lot of young guys with major league experience. The key is going to be which one of them takes that step forward and seals a spot in the rotation.
My next question is, what do you think the Atlanta will end up in the standings come playoff time?
Where will the Braves end up?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Braves win the division, especially with the unfortunate news about Jacob deGrom with the Mets, who could be out for half the year potentially right now. I really like the Braves' chances to win it again. Like I said, I think they're very deep in the lineup. I think they're very deep in the rotation and bullpen. So I think this team is built to last, built to hold up over 162 games. The front office has shown now that they're willing to spend and go out and make adjustments if needed during the season. Obviously, getting Ronald Acuna Jr. back will be huge. Hopefully that happens sooner rather than later, and hopefully he can stay healthy all season long. There's a chance they get Mike Soroka back later in the second half of the season. That would be huge as well. So I see this team winning 94, 96 games, which I think is going to be enough to win this NL East, which is going to be a very tough division. And I think teams are going to beat up on each other heavily. So I think 94, 96 wins, I think gets it done.
My next question is, what were your thoughts on Matt Olsen joining the Braves?
That was a bit of a shock. I think it was a shock to a lot of people, Freddie Freeman included. But if you paid attention to how it all unfolded, I think, again, GM Alex Anthopoulos kind of saw the writing on the wall that Freddie's agents weren't going to budge to meet the offer where Alex was. And Alex decided, hey, we are 3 weeks away from the regular season, 3 or 4 weeks away. We got to move on and we got to make things happen. So once he came to that conclusion, he quickly pivoted and got the next best option, if not the best option. I mean, you can say Matt Olsen is just as good, if not better, both offensively and defensively. Obviously, Freddie Freeman was the heart of this team. He was the face of the franchise. He's beloved by the fans in the city. That part's going to be hard to replace, but Matt Olsen's from Atlanta. So I can't imagine it would be hard for him to kind of get ingrained in the city as well. And then to come on top of that with an 8-year contract extension, I mean, it was just a fantastic move by Alex Anthopoulos. Matt Olsen could hit 40 home runs in Atlanta. I mean, he hit 39 last year playing in a pitcher's ballpark out in Oakland. Now to be in Atlanta where the balls fly during the summertime, especially. So I love the move. He's great defensively as well. Again, I think the biggest key for him is just getting into this clubhouse, gelling with the guys in this clubhouse. He can't be Freddie Freeman, and he's said as much. He's Matt Olsen. He just has to be himself. But again, if the Braves couldn't bring back Freddie Freeman and it looked like it got to the point where they weren't going to be able to do that, I don't think you could have handpicked a better replacement than Matt Olsen.
My next question is, what stood out to you in the past spring training games?
Yeah, the starting rotation was great to start. They've been a little shaky over the last couple of outings. Ian Anderson had to leave his start Monday early because of a blister on what they're calling his great toe, which has already become a meme on Twitter. But nothing really worries me as far as spring training goes about this team. They're a veteran group at this point. They are ready to go just like any other team. Like I said, the only thing that really maybe concerns me are the young starters, but the ones who I think will be in the rotation, like and Wright, they looked great this spring. And that's the only thing I was really watching for in spring training is how do these young starters who have an opportunity to land in the rotation and win a rotation job, how do they respond? And they've all pitched really well.
What series are you most looking forward to watching?
I have tickets to the Angels series when they come to Atlanta. I had tickets to this same series into the 2020 season before COVID hit. So I'm really excited about that. The chance to see Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani come to Atlanta. That is definitely my series that I'm looking forward to the most in 2022 for the Braves.
So since I'm a Phillies fan, I wanted your perspective on them for this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Phillies, they have a very good lineup, and I think everybody knows that. They're going to try to win a lot of games, 8-4, 8-6. They're just going to try to outslug teams, and that could very well happen. I worry a lot about their starting rotation after Zach Wheeler. What version of Aaron Nola do we get this year? Is this the year Zach Eflin steps up in the rotation? There's just a lot of question marks in that starting rotation for me. I know they've made some upgrades to the bullpen as well, but is it enough? What's the defense going to be like? And on paper, it looks like it's going to be very bad, but who knows? And those are the things that worry me about this Phillies team. If I were a Phillies fan, those were the things that would concern me going into the season. Is there enough depth around this team to compete over 162? That concerns me. That being said, it would not surprise me at all if the Phillies land one of those 3 wild card spots. But like I said, this NL East is going to be very tough. I think it does come down to the Mets and the Braves at the top. And then I think it's the Phillies and the Marlins fighting for that 3rd spot. And I'm afraid they may beat each other up enough that they miss out on a wild card spot, even though they could be one of the best 6 teams in the National League. So if everything hits right for the Phillies, if Zach Wheeler's a Cy Young candidate again, if Aaron Nola bounces back and he's that, number 2 every time he goes out, if the offense stays healthy and just continues to mash and they average, 6 runs a game and the bullpen holds, then I think this team will be just fine. But those are some big questions and some big ifs for me going into the season.
So we will see what will happen. And I'm more than excited for opening day, and I'm actually going to be at opening day. So
nice.
So I'm I'm looking forward to that. And thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Good luck this season.
Thanks, you too.